the process of measuring what is fact and what is misleading or false. And it makes it so that you can't reliably identify what's true and what's not. And then it said that like false, the folk thing was, that was another one that was like, folk wisdom is more like stuff that people want to believe, not necessarily what's true.
I think that's basically it.
Yeah.
And then I think we got that one covered. So, and then the last one is, what problems may emerge from using A, folk wisdom and common sense, and B, essentialist arguments rather than clear operational definitions when addressing public policies or controversial topics like equity? Well, so first of all, we'll start with like folk wisdom. So I feel like when you address like public policy or controversial topics with folk wisdom, it creates like a situation where people are just using different facts to argue about something, which is just never ends well, because then there's no common ground can be found if people are just using completely different facts.
Yeah, I love that, what you said about that. Like, if you argue, two people are arguing different facts, how do you know what's, how do you do that? How do you debate that?
You kind of end up appealing to like a single audience or to people that can relate to that folk wisdom, essentially. And I might kind of like isolate you too, because if that only like a narrow group of like people don't know or understand that, then that might be rough.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I think that's good. I mean, and what the problems could arise? Well, misinformation all around. People could, if something is false going on, even if it's a small thing like an office rumor or, something about somebody in the neighborhood doing something that they didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like gossip, basically. Gossip is always bad. Yeah, it's kind of like using big words for gossip. Okay. Was that the last part of the question?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Well, no, there was one. Well, we didn't really cover part B of that part, which was like what happens when you apply like essentialist arguments to controversial topics or public policies.
Okay. Somebody have a definition for essentialist?
Well, essentialism, the view that some properties of objects are essential to them, which doesn't really make sense. Let me find a better one.
Okay. It's kind of like if you break down an argument or you break down a concept, you're gonna have like fundamental blocks to it. So I mean, kind of like I was thinking more like chemistry, like water. Whereas like the way he was arguing, for example.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
He wouldn't have any real basis or any real foundations for it. So essentialism is almost kind of like having arguments that have real structures or real basis to them.
Oh, okay.
Could you give like an example of like an essentialist argument?
Damn, you got me there. I don't know. I don't know. I can think of I can give examples. Well, I mean, in the book, he was giving examples kind of like for gravity. It's kind of like it doesn't matter how much you kind of try to study it or understand it, you can't really explain gravity. Whereas, for example, if you do math, I'm thinking more like math is kind of an essentialist example. Whereas, like if you have 2 + 2, I mean, 2 + 2 will always equal 4. And if you break down 4, you're always gonna get 2 + 2 or 3 and 1, or 4 or 1, 1, 1, 1, or you always have like sort of base. Whereas like gravity or some sort of like philosophical topics don't have real bases, more like ideological, or you're more kind of like theoretical, I guess. That's kind of how.
Is it basically okay? So the way that I guess process what you just said is like gravity is kind of harder to explain than something that's definitive, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Okay, like 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4, and you can always explain how it's going to equal 4, as opposed to gravity being okay. It's a centripetal force, but why does it pull everything down, right? So,
is that part of that question correlational or experimental, or no? Am I?
Yeah, I think we were just defining it right now.
Oh, okay. Because I had written something about how like it doesn't permit us to make casual inferences about the variables. Just because two things are linked or related, or the factors doesn't mean that the other one is going to mean, it doesn't mean X causes Y or Y causes X. There's two problems inherent in correlational studies that suck. I just kind of use my own words. The direction and the third variable. That was another thing about the experimental theory. I think he put in one of his notes, like, to make sure that we knew that just because one should mean the other doesn't mean that. I don't know, I'm not wording it right, but just because A equals B doesn't mean that B causes A, or I don't know. And then the third variable was the thing that kind of messed up that theory, was because you could bring in a third variable and that would mess it up.
It would change it.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that for the behavioral psychology portion?
It was, well, it was the experiment. It says I wrote correlational is versus experimental. Is that maybe not? That's what I was saying. Is that because I don't have the second?
I think that might be from the other reading, because this one is on the book, and then he does have his notes that we'll go based off of.
Okay, so then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that whole thing didn't matter. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I had it on my notes on this book, and I thought that was part of the second answer, but no, I think I'm wrong. Okay, see, this is why I'm worried about the test.
I think that might be relatable for the test though, because that's, I think, like in one of his chapter notes or something.
Is what?
So, I think it's in one of those chapter notes, because he has different notes that you could read and take and kind of like study off of as well.
Okay.
And then he'll discuss both the textbook and the Stonovic reading in those notes.
Did you ever find the link to the Stanovich book? That, because I looked, I can only find, it says link. This is links to the textbook, but it's the OpenStax book. It's not Stanovich.
I put it in the I put a PDF in the email that we started.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'll look back and look at that because I want to see, because I'm going to have to study that for the test. I still don't have the book. That's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Wait, so the OpenStax is not going to be what's going to be tested on, right?
No, I don't think so. It's all going to be Stanovich. And OpenStax is the one I have. So it's, yeah. I should just break down and buy the ebook, but yeah. Okay.
Okay, and you put a link. You put a link to the other book.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. So it's called How to Think Straight. I'm gonna see if I can put a PDF on the chat here.
Can you put it in the chat? Oh, yeah, that would be great. Where's the chat?
I think it's the whole book.
Is it really? Oh, that's cool.
I think so. Yeah.
There's the chat. Oh yeah, Stanovich. Here it is. Let me see if I can do it. It says click to download. Wow, you are the best. Okay, wait. Let's see. Oh wait. You don't have permission to save it in this location. Contact the administrator. Oh, maybe I can save it someplace else. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, that worked. Awesome.
It has it all, and then you can get the OpenStax. You can get the entire book like for free as well.
Online. I have that book actually. That's not the other one is the one I could, because they didn't have it at the bookstore, so I had to order the Stanovich one, and it just hasn't come yet, which is weird. Okay. All right. Well, Kimmy, you're a girl. You're gonna write all this out.
Yeah, I'll put it all together and then post it. And then under it says label the final post or final response. Put your CRN group number.
Okay.
What's our CRN?
I think it's just 4, right? Our group number is 4.
No, that's if you go to
CRN. Oh,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the CRN is basically just a class number.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So like Psych 100, but then there's a CRN.
No. CRN is just what you register as on.
It's the numbers we put into
campus.
like. Yeah. Okay. I know what that is.
So it'll say like PSY. If you go to courses and you click down on it, it says PSY 100 and has -397, etc.
Yeah, that's a CRN.
Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and post this. And Kimmy, when you're done, if you want to, I don't know, maybe send it to us when you're finished, and we can. And then you get credit too. Like you'll get extra credit for writing it, and then I'll get it for doing the host. And then whoever wants to be the host next time, just go ahead. I don't have to do it every time because especially since I screwed up last time. I feel bad.
We can trade off the roles, so not everybody's stuck with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. I think we're good.
All
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again for meeting again.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.